Now, a fierce debate has been sparked in the world of photography after an artist entered a photo competition with an image generated by artificial intelligence and won. The image shows two women, which do not exist, and was entered into the creative category of the Sony World Photography Awards by German artist Boris Eldagsen. Eldagsen has refused the prize and said he submitted the image to find out if competitions would be prepared for AI images to enter. Looks like they were not, and the artist behind that picture joins me now. Boris Eldagsen, welcome to the day. Now, it's being reported that you revealed that the picture you submitted was AI generated, but you were pretty upfront about it ever since you found out you were selected, weren't you?
Yes, of course. It was not about winning anything. It was making a test, trying to find out if the competition is prepared. And my mission was to create awareness for that we need to keep this in mind in the photo community, that it is going to happen. It's going to happen on a much, much larger scale in the future.
How did the organizers of the event react when you told them the picture was, in fact, not a photograph?
Well, I offered them they could give it to someone else, but if they don't, it would be good to have an open conversation for the public, because it is something that is pressuring the photo community. The response was short. They were saying, you can keep it. And that was it. There was no response to my offer of having a discussion or conversation.
And how did you react? Because you obviously wanted to take this further and as you say, create a conversation.
I was just waiting what was going to happen and how they would announce my work in the press release 2 weeks later. And they sent it out, and there was no word about that it was AI generated. It could have been like a press statement saying, it is the first AI generated image in a competition, and Boris didn't tell us before, cheeky monkey. And yes, but how do we go from here? He is right. This can happen. This will happen on a larger scale. We need to talk about it. We need to look at our regulations. We need to find a structure for the future. That was my intent, but it never happened. And the press inquired very early after the press release, what's about that image? It looks different. Is it AI generated? And the press executive contacted me. We have so many inquiries about your picture. Can you tell me more about it? And then I realized that the press executive did not know that 2 weeks before I explained it in detail in an email. So the conversation, communication amongst the team of the organizers did somehow fail. Then I sent a statement describing again what I did, how the image was produced, how active I am in the German scene in talking about this in the photography world, about the future relationship between photography and AI-generated images. And it's important to do an open discussion. And the response I got later in the evening was a smiley and thank you. No response to my offer.
Let's talk about the conversation you want to start. We don't have much time, but I do want to know what you think the discussion should be focusing on now.
Well, it's happening, and I have to really thank the community for taking it further. They started to talk about it Thursday night, and it became such a large debate that the media, like you, became aware of it. And this is what I was hoping for. So what we need for the future is we need to have a term for this kind of imagery. It's not an AI photo. The best suggestion I have at the moment, it's a promptography. It's produced with prompts. It's very clear upfront, and it shows you can also generate images that look like drawing or painting. And once we know it's two different entities, we can talk about the similarities because they look like photography. They have learned the language of photography, but now it's free-floating and an entity in itself. So what are we doing now in the photo community? How do we define photography? Is it large enough to invite AI-generated images or promptography in, or is it better to keep it separate? But for competitions, I think it's wrong that both compete in the same category. All of this is happening now on a large scale, and I'm very thankful for the community that made it happen.
And there is a big discussion to be had. We unfortunately do not have the time to take it any further. Boris Eldagsen, thank you so much. And thank you for starting a very, very timely conversation about the future of photography and the future of art. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.